Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Q&A for Annie Lennox, The Journey of a Pop Icon. My name is Dominique O'Neill. I am a programmer at SF DocFest, and it is my pleasure to welcome the director of the film, Lucy Querriez. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So what a wonderful film. This film immediately stood out in the programming process because Annie Lennox is just so magnetic. So could you please tell us a little bit about your interest in her and making this documentary?
It lasted about almost 40 years ago when I was 12 years old in Paris. I was a teenager, a little heavy, a little not knowing what to do with my body, with myself, with being a woman to be. And then suddenly Sweet Dreams arrived. And I discovered her, I felt it was as if she was telling me everything is going to be all right. You're going to find a way, being a woman, you're going to find a way. I will be there, not far away. And everything is going to be all right. And she has been there since in my life.
She personally spoke to you.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. I also remember the first time I heard that song. I was at my grandmother's house. It's so amazing that happens.
It's kind of a shock.
Yeah. In terms of the actual filmmaking, when did you start to pick up the pieces for getting the film together?
About the whole process took about a little, I would say about 8 or 9 months. I began to watch as many archives as possible, and one making me wanting to see another one, and like that, and as if I was digging a hole. And I knew the artist. Of course, I didn't know the woman. I didn't know the woman, and I discovered her. And it was really exciting and overwhelming with emotion to see how the woman is a great person. It's not only a great artist, a great musician, a great composer, and this incredible voice, of course, but the woman is really, really amazing.
Yeah. So you started to pick up on the themes of the film after you started watching the footage.
Sorry?
You started to pick up on the themes of the film, like as you were watching this footage and starting to realize.
And reading the text, the lyrics of her song, the themes came as if an iceberg, you know. It suddenly they came to me. The themes of the movie, of the film, came to me. Reading the lyrics of all the songs we know by heart, and then I discovered them because I saw in an interview she said, if you want to understand who I am, you just have to listen to my songs, and it's true. Everything is there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to really applaud you for the narration. So that's your narration, correct? That's you talking over the film. Yeah, and you just provide this insight, and it really feels like you have gotten to know who Annie Lennox as a person is, and not this, not her persona, but really who she is. And it's really, really a beautiful thing that you've done in the film. Yeah. And did you ever have any contact with her throughout the filmmaking process?
No. They knew we were doing this film, but I don't even know if she has seen it.
Mm-hmm. I hope she does. It's so beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit more about how you chose which archival footage to use? And you also have a little bit of animation in the film. Can you talk a little bit about the editing process and your structure of the film?
At first, I wrote it down on my computer, seeing the archives, and I wanted the songs to be um, to make us go forward in the narration. So I wanted, of course, there is a chronology because I'm talking about her life and the way she built herself, but it was the song, one song leading to another one, to another one. That's how I'm sorry, my English is very poor. I don't even understand
Great.
myself.
I think I'm following you, so you're doing great. Thank you. And then can you talk a little bit also that there's animation in the film, just some light moments. Can you talk about the addition of that into the narrative?
The idea was she talks about her different characters. To be an entertainer, a performer, is to create different characters, and she created very interesting ones. So I decided to do as these little dolls, paper dolls, you know, and then we declined this idea to do the different animations.
Yeah, it works so well. And then in the film, you don't shy away from conflict. So there's, the sort of tumultuous life story with her and Dave Stewart. Can you talk about how you sort of balanced her identity with like this also sort of like more conflicting part of her life?
It's a whole, it came quite naturally. I mean, the editing was quite fluent because there is an inner coherence in her life, and the way she deals with her relationship to Dave, the way she deals with fame, this was quite coherent. So it was quite easy. It was fluent because, for instance, with fame, at first it was a weight. She said it's like a Pandora box you open. She was even quite surprised of this sudden fame, and she didn't know how to deal with it. And then suddenly, slowly, becoming more mature, she decided to use it. And it was obvious for me to how to build it. I think I couldn't have done this film if I were younger. I'm 53, and I think I quite understand the logic of her life, because she's a very coherent person, very amazing, interesting person, with her dark sides. And she said once, it's never gray with me. It's either white or black. And I think it's something I can understand more easily at my age now. So it came quite easily.
Yeah. Was there anything in the filmmaking process that surprised you or challenged you, or?
I didn't want to she says, I don't want to be an icon because of fame always. And she says, we are the projection of people. An icon is what people project on you when you're so famous. And I didn't want, I hope I didn't project too much on her. You see, I love her so much. Sometimes maybe you're going too far in what you're trying to understand about that woman, this huge artist, and that woman. So it was the trap, the risk of being blinded by my admiration for her.
Yeah. Well, I do think that you sort of, you break it down and point out that she does create these personas, and she does, she does put up this character front that it changes through time, and that is not her identity. So I do I do think that that's really shown in your film, that you know that's who she's created just for on stage. But it
Mm.
is interesting that you use the word icon in the title of the film.
Yeah, because she is an icon.
Yeah, we do still put that onto her.
I wanted to see behind the curtain somehow.
Yeah, yeah. Your last film also was about another uh, very iconic woman as well, right? Romy Schneider, is that her name?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is there something, did you find any parallels between the two films at all? Like with just strong women, or is this going to be a theme in your next films?
Maybe strong women, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, if I could say so, Annie is much stronger than Romy was.
Hmm.
Um, um, she managed, Annie managed to to transform. Uh, she's a very resilient person, and I
Hmm.
think the film is about reconstruction or construction, while my film about Romy is Schneider is how she has been destroyed by the system, by
Hmm.
dramas. So it's not the same path.
Yeah.
Um, Annie is incredibly full of life,
Hmm.
if I could say so. I mean, she's very, very, very active, for instance, on the social networks,
Mm.
on Instagram. And I wasn't on Instagram before I realized that every day she could post something. And now I keep looking at it, looking at her posts, because it's very interesting. For instance, uh, above the activism,
Mhm.
of course, but sometimes, for instance, she just say, "How are you today? How are you?" The whole planet following her. But really,
Mhm.
how are you? What was your first thought when you woke up, for instance? You see, it's very interesting, because
Mhm.
she really wonders how humankind is going forward.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. The woman is really amazing.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I didn't know a lot about her personal life before this documentary, and to see the trajectory too of moving into a more social justice space makes sense
Mm.
for her. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think we're all good on time. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you for sharing this
I hope
amazing
my
film
English
with
was
us.
okay. I'm a limited.
Better than most. Better than most. All right. Yes, thank you for your insights on Annie Lennox. The film is so beautiful, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Yeah, I hope my